over 6,000 at the Northlands Agricom in Edmonton, Alberta. This is the site, of course, adjacent to the Northlands Coliseum, which was the site of last year's possible Mike Tyson Razor Ruddock fight, which never came off. And you realize if it went on, Ruddock might have stepped into the Buster Douglas's place in history. But the Edmund fans a little skeptical of a fight card after that one fell through after all the hoopla. Burned by that last big card, but they have come back to support this one, and here's one of the reasons. Scotty Olson is on the card. We'll tell you more about him after the introductions. Here's our ring announcer, James Monsees.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 6 rounds in the flyweight division. Your referee from Edmonton is Don Smart. Introducing the principals. First, in the red corner, wearing the green trunks with gold trim, he weighed in at 113 pounds, fights out of Los Angeles, California, with a professional record of 7 wins, 8 defeats. Would you please welcome Rogelio Martinez. His opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the red trunks with white trim, he weighed in at 112 3/4 pounds, from Edmonton, Alberta, with a professional record of 4 wins with no defeats and 2 knockouts, the Bulldog, Scotty Olson.
The 6-time Canadian national champion, went to the Seoul Olympics, up to the quarterfinals before being defeated by Michael Carbajal, and he wants another shot at Carbajal, who is now a world champion.
Break clean, is that clear? In case of a knockdown, we go to the furthest neutral corner. Keep your guard up at all times. Thank you.
Olson, who does own a victory over Carbajal in the amateurs, but he lost to him twice, including the matchup in the Olympics at Seoul. Olson undefeated in his first 4 as a professional, hailing from right here in Edmonton, Alberta, known as the Little Bulldog, and he will go right at Rogelio Martinez, who had an interesting story, taking this on short notice. Missed his plane to Edmonton out of Los Angeles yesterday. He arrived at 5 o'clock Edmonton time. That's a couple hours before the start of tonight's fight. And really has to shake off the jet lag in a hurry.
And you know, that may be the best, you know, because a fighter, when you set a fight, you start worrying about it. You start concentrating on how good your opponents are, how bad you are, until that you get to a training point where you're better. When you get yourself into condition, then you think about how good you are. But for Martinez, he didn't have time to go through that training routine. He didn't go through that agony of realizing that you're going to be in a fight and this guy's going to try to knock your head off. So he comes into this fight blind, perhaps a little unprepared, but it's easier for him mentally to step into a fight like this.
I remember a few weeks ago when we were in Washington and had Lewis Curtis and Pedro Gonzalez, the flyweights, and we talked about with the flyweights, if they can get a fight, they will try to, you know, right here, Martinez, it's so hard for the flyweights, that division, to get fights, especially here in the United States, that they will make every effort to show up.
Well, first of all, there's not that many flyweights here in the U.S. Most of them are Oriental countries, some in Ireland, a lot of them in South America. But for them to fight here at home, it's real good for them. Right now, Scotty Olson is at home.
Olson's first couple of fights going the distance. He debuted with a 4-round decision. Then quickly in his second fight went up to 6 rounds and won a 6-round decision. His last 2 fights he has clicked with early knockouts. A 2nd-round TKO and a 1st-round knockout over Manuel Martinez. Fight in Nevada. Is this the same Manuel Martinez that we had the pleasure of seeing Was it a year back in St. Louis?
The one that got knocked out in the first punch by one of the Finger brothers. Knocked out in the first finger.
That was the fighter that I offered to fight. So,
but you wanted to fight him after the Finger fought him. After one of the Finger brothers fought him. Look at that jab from Olson. Nice work. That's what all those amateur bouts taught him. He faced a lot of different styles, but he is the one boxing here in this first round. You know, a fighter like Martinez, he'll stand in there and slug with any of them. So right now, Olson is on his bike.
Round 2.
it is the second round. Scotty Olson, the Canadian amateur star, in the red trunks. Rogelio Martinez, hailing from Los Angeles, in the green. George Foreman resisting temptation of hot dogs and hamburgers in the locker room, waiting us out. And he'll be on after this fight to face the Canadian heavyweight champion Ken LaCusta. Martinez hits the deck.
3, 4.
And he finds the rope.
Put your hands up. 6, 7. Put your hands up. 8.
Put your hands up. The referee's going to stop it. He didn't put his hands up.
Give me your hands. Give me your hands. You okay?
Didn't make him put his hands up. Wow.
Olson goes right after Martinez. Wants to end it here in the second.
Oh, referee better stay close, and he stops it.
Scotty Olson jumps on his opponent, getting him in trouble in the second after a feeling out process in the first. And the ovation from his hometown crowd here in Edmonton. Olson, who represented Canada in the Seoul Olympics before losing to Michael Carbajal, and he is looking for a meeting down the road with Carbajal, now the flyweight champion, as Olson goes to 5-0, scoring his third knockout.
And here's a look at it. Only his 5th pro fight. A lot of schooling, a lot of ring generalship, and a good, powerful right hand from Scotty Olson. Now, from these flyweights, let's face it, they don't have a lot of weight to throw around. At only 112 3/4 pounds.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official results. The winner by knockout at 111 of the second round, the Bulldog, Scotty Olson.
Scotty Olson. And he's now going to talk to the crowd.
To this boxing card today. As you know, this fight was dedicated to my amateur coach, Paul Horty. Mr. Horty, I'd like to thank you for all the work that you put into me, and my performance tonight was a product of everything that you're about. And I'd like to thank you for being in my life. Thank you for Top Rank, Glenn Carrier, and KO Promotions for putting on this fight. And I'd like to thank all you people for supporting me. And I hope to perform very well in the future. Thank you.
Scott Olson.
A touching tribute from Scott Olson to his amateur coach, Paul Horty, terminally ill with cancer. And Scott Olson with a tribute to his coach, to the fans here in Edmonton and around the nation here on USA.